Hey guys, what's up? Dan Slobodin from First Strike Athletics. Today we're going to talk about breathing for fighting. So I had one of my subscribers on my YouTube channel ask me about this. They wanted to know about better techniques for breathing. This is one of the most important things you can do or not do when you're fighting. It is absolutely critical that you're breathing when you're fighting. Obviously that sounds pretty basic, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't get this right. We're going to talk about how to breathe while you're throwing strikes. We're also going to talk about breathing and how to regain your energy and kind of calm your heart rate down between rounds. We're also going to talk about breathing techniques you can use to deal with anxiety when you're doing your first smoker or your first amateur fight, or you're actually fighting full contact professional fighting. Breathing techniques that you can use to help reduce anxiety, because you can be your own worst enemy, and not breathing correctly can really destroy your cardio really quickly. And cardio is a weapon, folks. If your opponent and you are evenly matched and one of you has better cardio and one of you is breathing better, they're gonna have the advantage. So don't give your opponent the advantage, you want this advantage for yourself. Okay, so breathing techniques are pretty straightforward when you're striking. Most people know this already. I'm gonna show you a couple of things that you might not know. First thing is, when you're breathing, breathe out on each strike. Right? Nice, short, compressed breaths. You're not just going like this. It should be short and compressed. This helps you activate your diaphragm. This helps keep your abs a little bit tighter, so if you get hit while you're striking, you're not gonna get the wind knocked out of you as easily. Okay, and by doing these short, quick breaths, you're gonna be able to control your breath a lot easier. Now, when I was training at Duke Rufus's gym, we'd do these really long combinations sometimes, 10, 12, 14 strikes in a row. If you try to breathe individually on each one of those strikes, it can get kind of tricky. You're almost hyperventilating. So what Duke would teach us was to breathe out in longer duration for each strike. So I'd take in one quick breath. Let's say I'm doing 8 strikes. That was one long breath. It sounded choppy because I was striking, but I was letting it all out as I was throwing the combination, as opposed to going. That can get very cumbersome, and it kind of feels like you're hyperventilating it a little bit. So, and for some people that will still work, but for most people it's easier to just breathe out one long breath. All right, so now here's a breathing trick you can use to help you recover quicker between rounds. Some people will refer to this as the physiological sigh. So what you want to do is take a nice deep breath in, fill up your lungs. You're going to do another quick breath, and then let it out. Do that 2 or 3 times, and for a lot of people, this helps them bring back the heart rate down, so that in between rounds, you're recovering a little bit quicker. Now, it's hard to do if you're really tired. You're gonna come back and be taking these big mouth breaths. That's a pretty normal thing, but after you've done a couple of those, try to do the physiological sigh. For me and for most of my students that I've shown this to, they feel like it really helps them. I've actually checked my heart rate in between rounds when I've done this, and it does come down quite a bit. So definitely give this a shot. It's a simple, no-cost way. If it doesn't work for you, you're not losing anything. But for most people, this works very, very well. So last but not least, if you ever get into competition, you are probably gonna feel pretty anxious and pretty nervous. And there's a couple breathing techniques you can do to help you calm yourself down. One is called box breathing, where you breathe in for 4, a count of 4. You're gonna hold it for 4, breathe out for 4, and then just let it sit for 4. So by let it sit, you breathe out and just wait for 4 more seconds. Or a count to 4, I should say. So you breathe in, hold it, let it out, and just chill for 4. Very simple to remember, very simple to do. Like everything else, you want to practice this before your competition. So this is something you should be familiar with weeks, if not months, before you start competing. So start practicing it now. Do it before you go train, do it before sparring. That way you won't be thinking about a last minute, oh, how do I do this? How do I do this? When you go to compete your first time, you do your first smoke or whatever, you'll be able to do this a lot easier, a lot more naturally. It's not gonna be something you have to think about. Another breathing technique you can use to help you with anxiety and nervousness before competitions is the 4-7-8. So you breathe in for 4. You're gonna hold it for a count of 7. And then breathe out slowly for 8. Okay, do that 2 to 3 times, and that should also help with anything like nervousness or anxiety before you compete. All right, so that's a few techniques you can use to help you with nervousness, anxiety, and to perform better. Hit like if you haven't already. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Train smart, train hard, train safe. I'll see you guys in the next video.